One rack you feel like a great player, but the next rack you can't even make the easy ball. Yeah, sounds familiar, right? But here is the truth. Consistency in pool is not talent. It's mechanics and habits. So today I'm going to show you 6 pro tips that can immediately improve your consistency at the pool table. And I promise you, you will notice improvement almost instantly. Sounds cool, right? So let's go! One of the biggest mistakes players make is trying to aim after they are already down on the shot. And you have probably seen this before. A player gets into the stance and then starts moving the cue or body around, adjusting left or right, trying to find the correct line. The problem is that once you are already down on the shot, your body position is locked in. Every little adjustment you make forces your body and stroke to compensate. That leads to inconsistent alignment and missed shots. Pros almost never aim this way. They finish aiming before they even bend down. And here is the system top players use. Step 1. Stand directly behind the cue ball to analyze the angle. Step 2. Stand behind the object ball and identify the exact contact point on that ball that sends it into the pocket. Step 3. Stand behind the cue ball again and imagine a line that goes through the center of the golf ball, which is an imaginary cue ball that touches the object ball at a point we determined before. Step 4. Now step into the shot. Place your back foot directly on that line. Your front foot follows naturally, slightly to the side. Step 5. Make a few practice strokes and execute a shot with no hesitation. If you aimed correctly while standing, your cue should already be perfectly aligned. No last-second adjustments needed. And that makes your setup repeatable, and repeatable mechanics are the foundation of consistent pool. Another major cause of inconsistency is rushing the final stroke. Many players perform a couple of practice strokes and then immediately fire the shot. That rush often causes poor timing, unwanted body movement and inaccurate cue delivery. Pros almost always include a small pause before the final stroke. And that pause stabilizes everything. So the next time, do this step by step. Step 1. Get into your stance and take 2 or 3 smooth practice strokes. Step 2. Right before the final backswing, pause for about 1 second. Not long, just a brief moment. Step 3. Deliver the cue smoothly through the cue ball. That pause gives your brain time to confirm the aim and lets your body settle into position. Set up a straight shot. Pocket the same ball 10 times in a row while focusing on that pause before every final stroke. You will notice your stroke starts to feel much smoother and more controlled. Another hidden reason of inconsistency is changing stroke speed constantly. Some shots are hit too softly. Others are hit way too hard. This constant variation makes it very difficult to develop a repeatable stroke. Most pros actually have a default stroke speed they use for the majority of shots. That default speed is usually around medium pace, not soft, not power, just smooth and controlled. So the next time during practice, try this. Choose a comfortable medium speed stroke and attempt to play multiple shots using that exact same speed. Even if the shot is easy, even if the shot is long. This trains your body to repeat the same motion over and over again. And here is a practice drill you can use today. Place an object ball in a straight line down the table. Pocket it and repeat the same shot, using the same stroke speed, trying to stop the cue ball every time. This drill builds stroke consistency and cue ball control at the same time. And now, let's talk about the biggest silent killer of consistency, especially for intermediate players. Unintended tip contact. Let me explain. You want to execute a deep draw or deep follow shot, and in your head you are thinking, I'm hitting low, I'm hitting high, this should work. But suddenly the cue ball reacts like you hit almost center. Weak draw, lazy follow, no action. Sounds familiar, right? You are not missing your aim, you are missing your intended tip contact. And here is the real reason. You are afraid of a miscue. You don't trust going that low or that high, so at the last second subconsciously you adjust. Just a little, but that just a little kills the entire shot. Remember that there is no such thing as reliable microspin. Trying to hit a little low or a touch of follow is one of the biggest traps in pool. Those tiny differences are hard to control, easy to mess up under pressure, and completely inconsistent. And here's the simple hack you should start using right now. Stop playing microspin. Start playing clear, extreme tip positions. Instead of a little draw, go low. Instead of a bit of follow, go high. Not reckless, controlled, extreme. You have to adjust only one thing: speed. However, please don't get me wrong. I'm not forcing you to always use extreme low or high, because sometimes we are forced to use less spin, like for example during a stun run through shot. What I mean is that by hitting the cue ball high or low, we are able to control the speed much better, which will definitely increase our consistency, and that's exactly what it was all about, right? This action removes hesitation, eliminates last-second adjustments, and builds true tip awareness. But most importantly, you stop being afraid of the cue ball. Okay, be honest. Are you playing safe little spins right now? Or are you actually committing to the shot? Drop a comment, I want to see where you are at. Many players unknowingly change their grip pressure during the stroke. They squeeze the cue right before impact, or they twist the wrist slightly. Even small grip changes can cause the Q-tip to move offline, and that leads to missed shots. Watch your grip hand during a few shots. If your hand tightens right before impact, that's a sign of tension in the stroke. Think of your grip as light and relaxed. Hold the cue like you are holding a baby bird. Firm enough so it doesn't escape, but gentle enough that you don't hurt it. When the grip stays relaxed, the cue can travel perfectly straight through the shot. The next problem is something many players have never been taught. Your eyes do not necessarily see the shot correctly from the center of your face. Being able to find our dominant eye is absolutely essential to see every shot correctly. However, there is something else which actually plays much more important role. Every player has a unique vision center, the position where their eyes see the cue and shot line most accurately. If your head is slightly off that position, the shot can look straight, even when it isn't. And that's exactly why some shots feel perfect, but still miss. So the next time, try this simple test. Set up a straight-in shot, get down into your stance, and slowly move your head slightly left and right over the cue. You'll notice something interesting. At one point, the cue suddenly looks perfectly straight, but at other positions, it may look slightly angled. And that point where everything looks straight is your vision center. Once you find it, build your stance around it. Get down on the shot, adjust your head until the cue looks perfectly straight, and remember that position. Make sure your chin returns to the same spot every time you shoot. For some players, the chin is directly over the cue, for others it is slightly to the side. But both are normal. The important thing is that your eyes are aligned with the shot line. When your head is in the correct vision center, your brain stops trying to correct the aim during the stroke. However, at this point I have to mention something else, without which the dominant eye and vision center are completely useless. Why do right cuts and left cuts feel different? Be honest, one side feels easy, the other, you either overcut it or hit it way too thick. The problem is how you are aligned to the shot line. Many players subconsciously turn their head slightly to one side, which distorts your perception of the angle. So actually, right cuts look thinner than they are, and left cuts look thicker than they are. You start compensating, which creates inconsistency. And here's the thing, your head must be square to the shot line. Not your feet, not your hips, but your head and eyes. Once you fix this, angles look the same on both sides, cuts become predictable, overcuts and undercuts drop dramatically. The table feels way more fair. Everything suddenly feels more natural and accurate. But most importantly, many players see instant improvement just from this adjustment. If you combine these adjustments, you will start to notice something very quickly. Shots that used to feel unpredictable will start to feel automatic. Because great pool isn't about making miracle shots, it's about building repeatable mechanics. If you want to practice these concepts the right way, I highly recommend checking out the training tools on Pool Billiards CO. They offer a large collection of structured drills designed to improve things like consistency, cue ball control, and shot accuracy. One feature I really like is that you can also create your own custom drills using their advanced table editor. If you use the link in the video description, you can get 20% of premium membership, so if you are serious about improving your game, definitely go check that out. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below telling me which of these tips helped you the most. Thank you very much for watching and see you in the next video. Take care.